By the way, I just saw an article today how a lot of Wall Street guys are getting ripped. I don't know if you saw it on Bloomberg. It was on
Oh
the
no, I didn't see it.
front page. Yeah, so looks like the my ex colleagues are catching up on the trend there. But yeah,
Well, I would hope so, man, because I think the banking, the other side of banking in the '80s, man, was a rough world, and I think now they're starting to pay attention to health a little bit.
yeah, and they'll benefit a lot from that down the road. But yeah, going back to my story, I was in banking in Switzerland for 5.5 years, and I ended it in risk management. And I was working out on the side to transform my own health. And eventually, as I started building online businesses and training people in person, and advancing my career, I was ultimately chasing wealth at the expense of my health, burned myself out, had a lot of issues with my heart, and I fixed it. And as I fixed it, I saw that, hey, there's an opportunity. A lot of guys, a lot of times senior to me, my ex colleagues, are having the same issue. And one and one went together with the training I was doing in person, where I moved it online and started serving a lot of my really ex colleagues, CEOs, executives all around the world.
So the thing I'm interested to, because you have an interesting viewpoint on this as well, and it's, I guess the thing I've struggled with, Mauro, is like for me personally, like fitness has always been a thing, right? Like, so I don't have the other side of it. Like I've gotten up at, not that I like it, but I've gotten up at 5 in the morning and worked out if I had to, or done whatever I had to do to make it work. And I guess the other side of that, what makes someone start making it a priority? Because like I said, for me, it's always been a priority, but what do you think starts making someone that wants to be a high performer, how do they make it a priority?
Great question. There are like two types of people or archetypes in the fitness industry from what I've found. There's the fat kid, always been fat, never been in shape, has been battling with his weight um, the entire life. And then there's the ex athlete, used to be in shape,
That
then
was that was me. I'm the wrestler. Like I was a wrestler my entire life, and it just like I just kept doing the same things. I guess that wasn't the used to be in shape part. I've just always been in shape.
that's good. But yeah, basically, ex athlete used to be in shape, great shape, and then lost track there. And depending on which archetype we take, they have different reasons. Usually, the fat kid will yo-yo diet over and over again. And I'm not saying that in a judgmental way. That's just the reality, how it is for a lot of guys like that, or a lot of people like that. And eventually, they'll get to a point where enough is enough. They have to draw the line in terms of health issues, heart, liver, whatever that is. And that's what the catalyst is for them. Where the ex athlete is a little bit different, usually a little bit of a bigger ego, has always been the guy among peers. And from my experience there, it's usually either kids or spouse that makes a nasty comment, and that's what gets them back into shape, right? So one is more driven by maybe internal changes in the sense of health, and the other one's like, oh, I'm not anymore perceived as that cool guy. I've lost a little bit of my drive status there.
You know what? You know what's interesting, because with the second one, I do think it's because I talk about professional athletes a lot, and I think when you look at it, I think sometimes being the best at what you do can actually be a hamper because you take that for granted, right? So you don't improve in a lot of ways. And I guess when you look at it, how important is the right mindset when looking at, improvement and becoming better?
It's part of the game, very important. I think some people overemphasize it. It's like mindset all the time. And while I do think it's an important piece of the puzzle and a key foundational element, I also think that if you have good systems in place, you don't need a very strong mindset. And that's what I'm a fan of. Not that we don't work on the mindset with clients or even
Sure.
for myself, very important, but how can we set systems in place that are so automated, so easy to follow, that we don't need a lot of motivation, rah, and a lot of mindset work. So let's take brushing your teeth. You don't need a lot of mindset work there. You just get up, do it, and you do it every day without a lot of effort and thinking. And so if we can plug and play certain systems, then it's much easier, and we rely less on the whole mindset section there.
No, I agree with that. It's fun. I was laughing a little bit when you talk about brushing your teeth. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and the 5-year-old's very good at brushing her teeth. The 3-year-old still bites the toothbrush when you're trying to like help her brush her teeth. Eventually she'll learn. But I guess looking at it then, what are the, like, when you look at systems, like what are some of those basic systems that like we should have in our life to handle that? Because I agree with you. I think I'm a creature of routine. I do pretty much the same thing every single day, and it served me very well. And I guess for you, what are those systems?
It will vary depending from person to person, meaning let's have a look at someone's lifestyle and then adjust the system there. So, for example, we have a dentist that's one of our clients, and he will be sitting all day long, leaning over patients. Very different system than a real estate investor that's always on the go. But if we look at it from a general perspective, I'm sure you've heard the saying, win the morning, win the day. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think win the evening, win the morning, win the day. Because if your evening or nighttime routine isn't that great, then you can have the best morning routine, but you'll just be tired and so on. So I think making sure that that nighttime routine is in place, like what you do the last 2 to 3 hours before bed, that you get a really solid night of sleep. And then in the morning, it's much easier to get out of bed, be ready, hit go.